Alright guys, so we got Rich here. Valves are open, burbles are off. It sounds amazing in here, so give it a rip. Rich, you see that exhaust button in the middle of the console? It has the valve. It looks like two exhaust tips right above Auto H at the bottom left.
Okay.
Yeah, hit that. All right, now rev. That'll put the burbles on. Keep going, man. You got it. We just put a new lip on the car. It looks sick. Thanks, man. You can keep it running. back, guys. Today is Monday. It is Motivation and Music Monday, and I finally set up a great way to share video recording of myself through my FaceTime camera as well as my screen, and have a great kind of format for you guys to go through tutorials. And today, Motivation and Music Monday, I want to start actually with our portfolio and what's happening, because this week is going to be a big one. And I also want to start touching on the topic of exponential growth and how quickly technology is proceeding and growing in our world. So first things first, let's look at FFIE. So the portfolio right now, there's about $1,300 in. We were holding Palantir, Meta, and some other stocks long-term, including Ethereum as crypto. I sold everything to get into FFIE. And the reason I did that is because there is a opportunity here for what's called a short squeeze. So hedge funds are betting that the stock price of FFIE will go below $1. And if it does that, it's going to be delisted from the NASDAQ. So they've bet a lot of money in the future, essentially, that the price will go down. Now, a lot of average investors like you and I are putting money in to keep the price above $1. And if the price remains above $1 for, let's say, the remainder of this week going into next week, there's a tremendous opportunity for that price to shoot up because of the short squeeze held against the hedge funds. So as the price continues to remain above $1 and keep going up, they will lose a lot of money. It's kind of a modern day Robin Hood moment. So we're watching that, and the $1,300 I have in there, remember guys, the money that you invest, this is a short-term play. You have to be willing to lose. I do want to play this back into the long-term portfolio for the channel, and I saw this as an opportunity with what I can read as a good chance of working out. People have seen this play out with other stocks like GameStop, which again was the retail investor like you and I going up against what's considered smart money in the market. The smart money has a certain bet. The retail investors group together and play against that bet so that the elites, that smart money, they lose money. It's kind of like a Robin Hood kind of thing, and it's hilarious. I'm actually using Robin Hood to trade as this is happening. So we'll see how this plays out, but definitely wanted to touch on there. All right, next thing I wanted to touch on is how quickly AI technology is rapidly growing and how we've even got to this point. Okay, so in the late 1950s, the integrated circuit was invented. The integrated circuit allowed us to branch off into semiconductors and essentially what we would consider computers. These chips were originally really needed for rockets and to compute the mathematical equations needed to guide rockets. Okay, so that was the late 1950s. We get into the 1970s and we're already using material science to develop stealth technology. Okay, and computer chips have now, within 20 years, been miniaturized. So we went from room-sized computers to handheld-sized computers. And material science has also progressed. So we can combine material science with semiconductor engineering. We can advance microchips. And that takes us to 2022, okay, when ChatGPT launched. And what you're seeing here is how long it took for ChatGPT to reach 100 million users. It took 2 months, okay? It took Netflix 18 years, it took TikTok 9 months, but it took ChatGPT 2 months to reach 100 million people, different users, which is just exponential. So November 2022, we have ChatGPT, which is powered by GPT-3, and within 2 months, 100 million people are using it, okay? And that's within a 60 to 70 year time frame from 1959. We've reached essentially almost artificial general intelligence, openly accessible through a chat interface by November 2022, which is just, it's mind-blowing, right? But that was GPT-3. Microsoft has invested heavily into OpenAI, and they are putting together computer data centers, which are now training GPT-5 and GPT-6. Okay, so Microsoft just had their build conference. It's for developers. And when they talked about GPT-3, GPT-4, GPT-5, they used marine wildlife for sizing. They didn't use numbers. But to give you kind of an understanding of where we are right now, GPT-4 is seen as an orca, whereas GPT-3 was seen as a shark. So an orca, many consider that the apex predator. It's larger than the shark, obviously. But then GPT-5 is seen as a massive whale compared to the orca. Microsoft is currently training the data set for GPT-5 in their huge, massive data centers. And those massive data centers all run, or mostly run, NVIDIA and AMD hardware. So Microsoft and NVIDIA are interlinked, and OpenAI is dependent on Microsoft's data centers to train the next version of GPT. So you're starting to see the connections here, and you can also make stock picks based on those connections. What's really important in this kind of framework is that these chips, the latest, most advanced chips, are being produced in Taiwan. And so it is actually of a national security interest for the United States to make sure that China cannot get access to these chips. So we've actually put embargoes and tariffs in place to prevent China from getting the latest and greatest technology. Generally, at this point, where May 2024 China seems to be 3 years behind the U.S., and this is now a position of national interest and national security interest to ensure China remains behind the U.S. So Taiwan is a strategic priority for us because the chip-making plants there, through a company called TMSC, are what NVIDIA utilizes. They need that chip technology, the processing, the plants. And if China invades Taiwan and takes over Taiwan and the TMSC plants, they will basically have the ability to leapfrog in terms of technology in the AI race in front of the US. There's a potential there. So we have to watch that as all of this plays out. Anyway, GPT-5 is being trained right now. So there's clearly been a massive investment from Microsoft in these data centers and then into OpenAI so that they can train on those data centers. What does that represent in terms of revenue for NVIDIA? So this is revenue by quarter, okay? And we're talking about billions of dollars. So Q1 2021, $3.1 billion. Q1 2024, 7.2. That's an increase of more than 2 times. And then Q2, almost an increase of 2 times from just Q1 24. So what happened? Q4 22. That's when GPT-3 was released with ChatGPT to the public. It took about a year in terms of delay for the demand to really catch on. And these data centers are being built around the world now. So Google, Meta, Microsoft, they're all using NVIDIA hardware and they're paying NVIDIA. So you can see NVIDIA's revenue just shooting up, okay? The only potential now for NVIDIA to fall, as well as the Western markets, is if China invades Taiwan. So NVIDIA pretty much has... There's a metaphor going around where NVIDIA is selling shovels, there's a gold rush, and Microsoft, Google, and Meta, which is Facebook, are all going to NVIDIA to buy the shovels. So make of that what you will. The gold rush is going on. It's probably going to continue for at least 2 to 3 years. And within that 2 to 3 year time frame is a massive risk of war with China over Taiwan. So this is just putting everything in context for you guys. Okay? Now, Microsoft is kind of interlocking with NVIDIA to be very much integrated. So Microsoft and NVIDIA are like this, and OpenAI is one of Microsoft's largest bets in terms of accessing current state-of-the-art AI technology and then integrating it into the Microsoft stack. So you will see Microsoft Copilot across all of their brands. Surface, which is their laptops and their hardware devices. You'll see Copilot within their software. So when you're working in Microsoft Office, Copilot will help you create slides. You're really going to see Copilot everywhere, and that's powered mostly by GPT. What's going to be really interesting is on the engineering side of things for computer science. Microsoft is partnering with a company called Devin, and we will very quickly see computer science being mostly handled in terms of the initial programming tasks by AI. So that's definitely something to watch for. And Microsoft is strategically investing in different AI companies other than OpenAI so that they have multiple pathways to the top talent in AI as well as the technology to integrate into their own stack while avoiding regulators. So we'll touch on regulators as well. Okay, so Microsoft Build just happened. I highly recommend that you watch it. They talk about how they're integrating GPT and other AI tools into all of Microsoft's products and services. They talk about how they're integrating their partnerships with NVIDIA and AMD, by the way. So that's another stock call out. When you think about AI, AMD also has the ability to just increase their revenue by just continuing to ship more chips that people are looking for to train AI data sets. Okay, so that was quite a lot, guys. What I want to end with is these AI models, which you can access through GPT, for example. They run on the cloud when you're interacting with ChatGPT, but you can run AI models on your own hardware. So on Wednesday's episode, what I'm going to do is walk you through a tutorial of how to download open source LLMs like Meta, they produce an LLM called Llama. The latest version of Llama, Llama 3, has different sizes. We'll take a look at the small and medium sizes, and if you have like a recent MacBook, you can actually download that and run it locally. So you don't need an internet connection after you have it running locally. You can have an AI with you at all times, and that's starting to touch on the future of AI, guys. So hopefully you enjoyed this video. There's many more videos to come, and the last bit is we'll go into Spotify and check on the songs that I added, because today is Music and Motivation Monday. All right, guys, so here we go to the bottom of the playlist. We are at 27 songs. I added Only You, Through, and Worst. I hope you enjoy. This is really a sick playlist, and I hope you guys love all the content so far. All right, let's go.